What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So here we have some more disrespect to another boxer, not being acknowledged and recognized. And that's undefeated two-division world champion, now newly crowned unified super featherweight world champion, Olympic silver medalist superstar boxer, SHAKUR Stevenson. SHAKUR Stevenson is now 18 wins, no losses, no draw, 9 wins by way of knockout, 24 years of age, 5'8" with a 68-inch arm reach. With that said, SHAKUR Stevenson, he took on another undefeated two-division world champion and the reigning WBC super featherweight world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, Oscar Valdez. Oscar Valdez came in the fight, 30 wins, no losses, no draw, 23 wins by way of knockout, at 31 years of age, 5'5" with a 65-inch arm reach. With that said, okay, SHAKUR Stevenson dominated the fight. SHAKUR Stevenson picked up the WBC super featherweight title. SHAKUR Stevenson beat a top 10 pound-for-pound fighter. SHAKUR Stevenson also picked up the Ring Magazine title. And yet SHAKUR Stevenson, in the new rankings from ESPN and from the new rankings of the Ring Magazine, he's not in the top 10. They choose not to put SHAKUR Stevenson in the top 10 in the Ring Magazine, which is ironic because he just won the Ring title. SHAKUR Stevenson just beat a top 10 pound-for-pound fighter, a Mexican superstar boxer, in dominating fashion. And yet they say they're not impressed. But in the top 10, they have 3 guys with multiple losses in the top 10. They have Juan Estrada in the top 10 with 3 losses. They have Vasyl Lomachenko in the top 10, not a champion, and 2 losses. Didn't avenge either loss. Then get this. Here's the kicker. Here's where it gets interesting. They have Canelo Alvarez at number 1, Terrence Crawford at 2, Inoue at 3, Errol Spence, the unified 3-belt welterweight world champion superstar boxer, under Inoue, at number 5. No, at number 4, excuse me. And then you have a guy in the top 10 to round out. They have Chocolatito, Juan Gonzalez. Chocolatito, he has 3 losses. So Chocolatito's in the top 3. Okay? So they have Juan Chocolatito Estrada. They have Juan Estrada in the top 10. They have Chocolatito in the top 10. They have Lomachenko in the top 10. Lomachenko is not a belt holder, okay? Lomachenko has 2 losses that he hadn't avenged either one, okay? Yet he's in the top 10. So Canelo Alvarez 1, Alexander Usyk at 2, Terrence Crawford at 3. I misspoke. Terrence Crawford at 3, Inoue at 4, okay? Errol Spence at 5. A heavyweight is not even supposed to be on the pound-for-pound list, okay? Juan Estrada at 6 with 3 losses, okay? Lomachenko at 7 with 2 losses. Josh Taylor, the undisputed champion, all the way at 8. Lomachenko, Juan Estrada, okay, is over Josh Taylor, undisputed junior welterweight world champion. Chocolatito at 9 with 3 losses, okay? And get this, here's the real kicker. KAZUTO IOKA rounds out the top 10. The WBA flyweight champion. WBO flyweight champion. And he has 2 losses. Ahead of Shakur Stevenson. Ahead of Shakur Stevenson. You have KAZUTO IOKA ahead of Shakur Stevenson. So you updated your pound for pound list. And it's a good idea to put KAZUTO IOKA ahead of Shakur Stevenson. And they'll tell you that race doesn't play a part in the sport of boxing. This is what they'll tell you. They'll try to convince you. Not to take anything away from KAZUTO IOKA. Don't want to take anything away from him at all whatsoever, right? But there's no way you're going to try to justify him being in the top 10 pound for pound over Shakur Stevenson. There's no way you're going to try to justify that. There's simply absolutely no way you're going to justify KAZUTO IOKA ahead of Shakur Stevenson. Because let me explain something to you. Why I'm making this video. And let me explain why I'm bringing this to your attention. And this is why I have my own pound for pound list coming out. And this is why quote unquote mainstream media and these big sporting platforms have no place in the sport of boxing. Like you saw Max Kellerman on the biggest sporting platform in the world, and ESPN, try to convince the world and the casual fans who don't know anything about the actual ins and out of the sport of boxing, just casual fans that just want to see, you know, good boxing, that Devin Haney, the WBC undefeated lightweight world champion superstar boxer, is not the WBC champion, and try to convince you that. And he had the nerve to say, guys like me, is what Max Kellerman said. Guys like myself who don't believe, this is what he said, guys like myself who don't believe that you are the champion. We believe that George Kambosos Jr. is the lightweight champion. To that you say what? As if Devin Haney wasn't a champion. And then admitted that Lomachenko vacated the WBC title and that Devin Haney was his mandatory, and Lomachenko avoided Devin Haney. You have Lomachenko in the top 10. This guy has 2 losses on his resume. Hadn't beat one of those guys he lost to. Didn't rectify the loss. You have George Kambosos Jr. who beat the man who beat the man. So get this now. Teofimo Lopez beat George Kambosos. George Kambosos beats Teofimo Lopez. And yet George Kambosos Jr. is not even on the list. But that's because they don't expect George Kambosos Jr. to beat Devin Haney. But here's why I'm making this video and bringing this to you guys' attention. If Oscar Valdez had beaten Shakur Stevenson April 30th, MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, not only would he be on this pound for pound list, but he probably cracked the top 5. Because that's how valuable beating Shakur Stevenson would be. But Shakur Stevenson beating Oscar Valdez is so expected because the talent level, this is an admission of the talent level. Just like Eddie Reynoso, well-renowned trainer, 2-time trainer of the year, stated, the African-American style is so difficult to deal with. They're so athletic and so elusive, and it's so difficult to deal with that the pedestal is so high that when you dominate a Mexican superstar boxer who's undefeated and 2-division champion, you get 0 credit for it, 0 acknowledgement. You'll get 0 acknowledgement for beating a guy of the stature of Oscar Valdez. But if Oscar Valdez had beat Shakur Stevenson, there's no doubt he would have been over Lomachenko. He would have been over Estrada. right? He would have achieved something that most would have thought that's not achievable for that style of boxing. So Shakur Stevenson wins the Ring Magazine belt. Shakur Stevenson fights for ESPN. And Shakur Stevenson beats another ESPN fighter, wins the Ring Magazine belt, unifies the belts. And that is not enough. But you can put KAZUTO IOKA with 2 losses on his resume ahead of Shakur Stevenson. There's nobody in the sport of boxing that believes KAZUTO IOKA is a better boxer than Shakur Stevenson. Only the ones pushing the narrative. I'm going to say it to you again. Only the ones pushing the narrative to try and box out certain fighters would say that KAZUTO IOKA is a better fighter than Shakur Stevenson. This is for the casual fans that may Google pound for pound. What's the pound for pound list? You Google it, Ring Magazine, ESPN pound for pound list come up, and you'll see this type of pound for pound list. And a casual boxing fan right? A casual boxing fan will look at that list and say, oh, okay, these are the best fighters in the world. That's what they would tell you. They will look at this pound for pound list, and based off of this pound for pound list, they'll tell you these are the best fighters in the world. There's no way Errol Spence dominates, breaks Yordenis Ugas' ribs, nose, and orbital bone. Yordenis Ugas, who arguably beat Sean Porter. Yordenis Ugas, who dominated Manny Pacquiao, a legend. Errol Spence walks right through Yordenis Ugas, becomes a 3-belt holder. And he is number 5 on your pound for pound list. Terrence Crawford, and he's undefeated. Terrence Crawford is an undefeated champion, undisputed, 3-division champion, knocked out 10 of his last 11 opponents. And he's number 3, and you have a heavyweight on the list. The pound for pound list, they're trying to alter history, and they're trying to box out a certain style and certain level of fighter. That being an African-American fighter, okay? And that being, they're trying to alter history to change and be able to put a guy like Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk on that list to justify. The pound for pound list was created in spite of the heavyweight division for guys like Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, guys in the smaller weight classes, because as the heavyweight division goes, so goes the sport of boxing. So they're not on the pound for pound list. That's why the pound for pound list was created. This is sad. It truly is. That they would have KAZUTO, and this is no slight to KAZUTO IOKA, but they have KAZUTO IOKA ahead of Shakur Stevenson on the pound for pound list after that performance Shakur Stevenson put on this past Saturday night. ESPN and ESPN and Ring Magazine should be ashamed of themselves, period. And that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment in the comment section, let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all in one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.